What the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's the only amount of the song I know. All right, lads, welcome back to me podcast, Cheaper Than Therapy. How are you doing? Are you enjoying this season of America? Right? Isn't it just like a fucking television show? Right? Every week. It's another fucking mess out there. Another mess out there in the world. How can you find comedy in there? How can you find comedy out there But isn't it like? What was a show I used to love that was very, very stressful to watch? Sons of Anarchy, right? Love the show Sons of Anarchy about the motorcycle gang, and every single week was just stressful to watch the show because of the drama was so stressful. I just used to pray for an episode like, all right, enough of this now. Can we just have an episode where they go on a bike ride as a group and they pull over to get ice cream, and the only problem this week is that they don't have vanilla ice cream for Jack's, so they have to get chocolate instead? Can that just be the episode? Why am I at the edge of my seat every fucking week with this show? That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like here. That's what it feels like watching the new show every week, America. Holy crapperoni. I mean, what have we learned? What have we learned this week? I guess shops are open now. All the shops are open in America. You just have to go through the windows. You just have to go through the windows because there's no fucking doors on the shops and no windows anymore. That's it. They're taking off the hinges. The windows are broken. Everything is stolen. Place is burning down. Place is burning down. I don't know. I mean, don't you wish that the Oscars were on this weekend? Don't you wish that the Oscars were on so all the actors could tell us what to do? Remember Joaquin Phoenix told us to come up and not have dairy? Remember that? Where is he now? We need you now, Joaquin. We need you to go up and tell us what to do. How do we handle this situation? Have we tried singing Imagine, guys? Have we tried that? Have we tried starting one line, texting your mate, and then he does? Have we tried that? Let's talk to the commissioner. I don't know what we're going to do out there. There's anarchy in the streets. They're burning down. People are getting shot. Have you tried singing Imagine? All right, you go first. Imagine all the people. It doesn't even fucking start like that. What are you doing? Have we tried everything? All right, obviously I'm not making light of the situation, right? What's going on? Let's talk about it. I wasn't very vocal about it online because, you know what? I'm kind of sick of social media, especially this week. The last 2 weeks have just been a fucking shitstorm of just negativity, and it kind of brings you down a bit, right? It brings you down. I tried to post some pictures of Ireland, walking with me kids who didn't want to go out walking, just trying to stay positive. And you know, it's hard to be part of anything now. It's, you know, so I stayed off social media because everyone, you can't really ignore what's going on, right? So, and then did I have a take on it? Yeah, I did. I just didn't want to type 200 and something characters of what I think is going on and leave it at that, you know. So I wanted to kind of talk it out a little bit. I wanted to kind of just word it out so you could kind of hear it for me, so nobody can misread it. So nobody can misquote me on it, right? And then in 3 or 4 years' time, when I'm sitting in an executive's office looking to pitch my new TV show or special or movie, and some intern runs in, hang on a second, according to this tweet back in 2020, you said. So that's real. The reality, by the way, of my business, of my industry. They go back and read your shit. But I wanted to kind of formulate thoughts on it. I wanted to see, you know, how it all played out before I kind of came out and voiced an opinion. Because, you know, when it first happened, now you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in, you know, the incident where the police officer killed the person he was trying to arrest. Right? And and again, I didn't want to be misquoted, so I said, you know what, I'll do an episode. I'm not going to make fun of anything here. I'm just going to try talk it out and see where we go. But anyway, so it's a very weird situation, right? And there's so much outrage, and I get the outrage, and there's 100% reason for the outrage. But someone asked me, and you know why I knew it kind of like, I normally shut off from the world, right? I shut it down when I see shit happen. I go, all right, and I don't talk about it with anybody. I keep my opinions to myself, because it usually just starts an argument, because nobody looks at it from your point of view. Nobody anymore goes, yeah, that's a good point. I see why you're saying that. Like, you could say a point and then you go, you fucking asshole. All right, that's just how I look at it. But I didn't really have an opinion. I didn't really talk about it until my daughter came out. My daughter, who's just 13, she saw what was going on, and she came out with her opinion, and she started talking about it. And bless her, her voice was cracking when she was talking about it. So obviously it meant something to her, what was going on. And she's very, my daughter's, was definitely saying the cop is in the right. Of course she wasn't. I'm in a dick now. Of course she wasn't. My daughter was very hurt by what was going on, to see that, because when I was 13, you never saw a murder on television. You never saw somebody, if that is the right word, by the way, so I'm sorry if I'm misusing that word. If that word upsets some people, maybe not murder in the first, right? And I'm trying to explain to my daughter, but she when I was 13, I'm tripping up now. When I was 13, you never saw anybody die, because you didn't have the technology, right? You never saw anybody. The first time I saw somebody die is when I moved to America for the first time. I'm talking about the media, by the way. I've been around one or two people in my life who have passed away while I was in the room. But the first time I'd seen someone die is when I moved here. And my brother came over from Ireland to visit, and I was over here a wet day, and he discovered, and my brother still sends me sick shit. My brother Bud, me and my friend Tommy, who was my first guest ever on the show, still send each other. We send each other funny stuff. We send each other dirty sexual stuff, and we send each other just sick shit. More them than me. I'll send the funny stuff. They send the sick shit. But we're in a group chat called Sick and Funny. But my brother showed me this video of a beheading of a Marine, a U.S. Marine getting beheaded in Afghanistan or one of those dusty countries. Well, that's not politically correct. You can't say that. I know. I'm sorry. I'm just, well enough what I'm talking about. And I remember it for weeks. It disturbed me. I couldn't shake the image of it. And now you can see that anywhere you go, right? You can just click onto your phone and there it is. And so my daughter at 13 years of age, she's dealing with a different world. She's dealing with this technology that is great. And it's the devil. It is the devil. And, so she came out and she was talking about it, and her voice cracked while she was talking about it. And she's talking about, no justice and all that kind of stuff. And, and that's what's wrong with this, that, the other. And I'm not going to repeat what my daughter said because she's not here to defend herself. But I remember just thinking to myself, wow, it affected her so much. Let me try talk it out. And try see, I tried to explain to her that, she goes, he murdered. And I go, I get why everyone is saying that. I said to my daughter, but I don't know if it's going to be murder in the first degree. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, because I think, and I don't know anything about it. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a comedian / lawyer, but from what I know, right, isn't murder I'm going to get up, I'm going to go off, I see this guy, my goal is to literally kill him. I don't think this guy did this. By the way, before we go any further, we're about 9 minutes, we're almost 10 minutes into the podcast, and I do want to go on record and think he's a piece of shit, by the way, right? So let's just get that out of the way. So there's no way Mick Thomas is defending this guy in any way. He's a piece of shit. And I hope he gets what he deserves. I know for a fact, I just saw something popped up. And again, it's going to be Monday morning when you listen to this. So some of the things may have changed, more things may have come to light. But as of right now, as I'm recording this podcast, I just saw something like his wife now left him and divorced him. Smart move, right? Smart move. I'm sure there's kids involved there too, which I feel bad for, that he obviously wants to protect, right? No, she doesn't want to stand by his side. Maybe she was looking for an excuse to get out of the marriage, and now she has one. Good for her. But anyway, so I tried to explain to my daughter what I feel happened in this situation, and I tried to compare it to her in a way that maybe she would understand from my point of view. And I said, I think what I compared him to was a heckler at a comedy club. What the fuck are you talking about? Hold on. There's two types of hecklers at a comedy club, right? There's two types of hecklers. There's a heckle, by the way, isn't someone that just goes after a comedian. If that's what you think a heckler is, you're wrong. A heckler just doesn't go, "You suck, get off the stage." Right? That's what you think a heckler is, but it's not. A heckler is someone who interrupts the show. Sometimes they're not knowing they're interrupting the show, right? Like you could have a woman talking to a friend when a comedian goes up and he says, and that's why all women like to do this or whatever. And then she will turn to her friend out loud and go, "We do that. That's so true. We do that." And then you start your next joke. "Remember that time, Karen, when we went into the..." And I'm trying to do my bit. "And then you said to the guy that he had..." Right? And you're like, "All right, sorry, I love you." You kind of throw... Like, that's also a heckler. So that's a heckler. Unknowingly, right? Now, 95% of the time, you will say to that woman... I'm sorry that I picked the woman, by the way. It's men as well. I've just kind of used the woman in this example. So you will say to that woman, that female, you go, "Oi, listen, swear here. Sorry, I'm sorry, but you're kind of interrupting my show, right?" So here's where one of the two hecklers will come in. One heckler, which is in the 95% realm, she will go, or he will go, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was so loud." Then there's the other one, the 5% one. The 5% heckler that gets embarrassed, but instead of owning up to it, that they're wrong, they double down and they extra heckle. Now they're coming at you. And then they might go, "Well, you know what? If you were funnier, I wouldn't need to interrupt." Because you just called them out in a room full of people. Like, you weren't out to embarrass them. Now it's that kind of heckler. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So my opinion, which I'm entitled to one, here's what I think happened. I think this guy pulled over the cop pulled over the guy. He put him to the ground and whatever. He maybe there was a struggle. We didn't see all the video, right? So maybe he started to kneel on him. Now, the second there was a crowd around him, so he's kneeling on his neck, right? Which is just fucking, the guy's already secured. He's outnumbered 4-1. There's no need for him to be held down. He needs to be put into the car immediately, right? Again, I'm not a cop. So now what I think happens is everybody around him takes their phone out. They're videotaping this guy, and the course, the gentleman on the ground is going, "I can't breathe. Everything hurts. Please just let me up, put me in the car, whatever I'm doing." So now what's happened is, instead of, and I'm not saying I got to be slow about this because I definitely want to make up any excuses for him because he's a piece of shit, and I'm not making an excuse for him. But I think he's this type of person that once everybody starts saying to him, get off him, he can't breathe. Like you hear one guy, "Come on, bro, he can't breathe, bro. Is this what you're going to do, bro?" So I think this guy doubled down, right? I think this guy went, instead of doing this, and again, it's just my opinion, instead of the cop going, "Oh, fuck, shit, really? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. He sees cameras on him. So if he's seen doing that, "Oh, fuck, shit, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was kneeling on your neck," or whatever. Again, piece of shit. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that." Now, if he's caught on camera doing that, that can be used against him. In his head, that can be used against him. He can be sued for it. He can lose his job for it. He can be fucking internet famous for that. So I think... So that he's that heckler in the 95%, or maybe if any other cops had done that and they'd say he can't breathe, like, "Oh, okay, let me up." But I think this guy went, "Fuck you, I'll be damned if I'm going to let you guys tell me what to do." And I don't think he was kind of kneeling on this guy going, I want you to die. I think he was kneeling on this guy going, fuck all of you who think, like, I'll be damned if I'm going to stop doing it just because you tell me to do it. And that's what I think he did. That's what I think he did. Piece of shit move. Piece of shit move. And as a result of his piece of shit move, someone has died. And Target is gone. I'm kidding about the Target. Now there are riots in pretty much every city across America right now. And the problem is too, like, everyone's out there attacking the police officer right now. It's happened way too many times, and it has happened way too many times. The argument, of course, is there's no justice for black people. They're being you know what I mean? Like, there has to be an outcry before justice happens. And I understand that. And there's, like, a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, that gentleman, and you'll have to forgive me, I don't have names, and I don't want to say names in case I get them wrong. So I don't want to come across disrespectful. You get one young guy who's out jogging, and he gets shot down. He got hunted and shot down. There's so many people out there, incidents where there are no phones that are catching these police officers. I'm going to say police officers. I'm not going to say white cops on black people. I'm just going to say police officers, right? Because I have seen videos of the other way around too, which is fine. So it is kind of a gray area, and I just think the people's outrage is warranted. Definitely there needs to be some sort of change in like, do cops need to go through different type of training, as in how rules of the road are, or what manhandling is, or I mean, I said this months and months ago. You can go back on these other podcasts that I've something against fat police officers. Here we go again. It's not about fat people. I'm just saying, like, how can you protect and serve, which is your job, which is in your title, if you're obese? If you're obese, chances are you don't know how to defend yourself properly. You don't know how to take the proper measure. You don't go to... I thought when you watch the movie... See, I grew up in Ireland, of course, right, where the police force is something totally different. I grew up in Ireland. My only understanding of what American police was Chips. Remember that? Chips, with Poncherelli and John, those two guys. That Citizens Highway Patrol. I don't know what the I was for. Anyway, I used to watch Chips and Police Academy. TJ Hooker. These are my references to America, right? So you grew up and you figured that they all went through some type of training. I really did. I thought, like, because of Police Academy, they were climbing the rope and you could look up a girl's shirt and see her boobs, right? That's what Police Academy was. And I just figured that all cops, need to go through some sort of training like that. And I think once the person is secured, then that's it. It should be over. Now I do see the other side of the argument. Not that I see it as, and I agree with it. I think it's a weak argument. Just don't break the law, bro. Don't break the law. Because let me tell you something, first of all, about breaking the law. Maybe there's cops out there that are abusing their power. Now, before we go any further in the podcast, I wanted on record that Mick Thomas is I'm very pro police officer. I'm very pro police officer because we need them. We need the police force. Without them, there would be fucking total anarchy. We would not survive. Because over here, my problem that I'm having with the guys locking the gates up. The security guards are locking the gates so I can't go jogging. But I've been caught climbing the fence by the police, and they've said nothing to me. They said nothing because they realize they know what it is. Now I know this is not even compared to what's going on in the world. I'm just shifting gears to talk about a message to the people out there who hate the police force. I am pro. I have a lot of friends who are cops. Now, so when you see me jump on a fence and the cop goes, he's just going to work out. You're fine. You're fine. Right? That to me is like a cop who assessed the situation and said, like, all right, that's fine. He's just jogging there. It was the security guard. Now I know you might say, yeah, I'm lucky because I'm a white guy. If I was a black guy, maybe that wouldn't happen. And you know what? Maybe that's the case, and maybe that's the reason for the outrage. Maybe that's the reason for the outrage. That if I'm going to jump a fence and a cop goes, he's fine. He's just going to jog, and he's white. I don't think that's the case out here, of course, where I'm jogging. But I get it. I get the rage. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe if somebody saw a black guy jumping the fence, it would be a different call. I like to think it wouldn't be, based on the police that are around here by me. So like I said, I do know a lot of cops who are nice, who are just really nice, right? not necessarily to me. I've seen him handle situations. I've seen them being called to comedy clubs, right? When stuff happened at comedy clubs, and just watched how they handled a situation. So I am pro police officer, but I do get the side of maybe there's people out there that should not be cops. Maybe there's an abuse of power out there. And there is, and I saw once, and I'll tell you a quick story about it, which is, and again, Mick Thomas, Procop. First of all, a cop's job is hard, right? A cop's job is very hard. It's got to be one of the most stressful jobs out there. It really has to be. But let me tell you the story. I don't want to go all over the place. I want to wrap up soon. I'll tell you the story. So I'm at a comedy club one night, and I'm not going to mention the comedy club. I'm not going to mention the state I was in. Not as in, he was fucking hammer drunk. I don't mean the state. I mean in the state. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, LA, California. LA's not a state. So I'm not going to mention where I was, but I'm at a comedy club, and there was up front was a table of 6 people, of 3 police officers and their wives. So the woman up front keeps interrupting, loud, obnoxious. So I just had to say it to her. I kept looking at the security guard. The security guard was just fucking sitting on his phone, texting, wouldn't get up and help. I didn't want to make a situation, so I just quietly said, as I do, if anyone's ever seen me at a show before, when someone starts talking, I go, "Sorry, miss, I'm just trying to get through this, and you're being very distracting." That's my line. If anyone can vouch for that, you know that's what I do. I do not want altercation with customers. It just ruins the whole vibe of the night, the show. It makes everyone uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. And sometimes the person doesn't realize they're doing it, so I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. So I'm at the club, and I'm on stage, and I'm fucking murdering, obviously, because I'm so I'm doing a bit, and couldn't even tell you what it was. And she's keep talking. I go, "Miss, sorry, do you mind, please? You're kind of being, whatever. You're kind of distracting me. I can't. It's very hard for me to concentrate. Thank you very much." I start my bit. She goes, "You know what? I'm supposed to be here. You're not even from this country." So I go, right? That fucking just enrages me when I hear that kind of ignorance. And I go, "All right, I'm just trying to do," and I was doing a bit about kids, whatever. And so then I just fucking said, "All right, yeah, great. You made your point. Good. Now just shut the fuck up, please." She turned to her husband. "Michael, are you going to put up with this?" And he was like, shrugging his shoulders. Wah. I probably gave away which state I was in when I did that. So then she goes, "I'm here to raise money to help my kids." And I go, "Okay, I got kids too." She goes, "Yeah, well, I'm bringing my kids up the American way." I go, "That's fine. I'm bringing my kids up not to be cunts." That's exactly what I said. So she went, "Michael," back to her husband again. I get off stage. I finish the set. He follows me into the green room. The cops, the 3 males, follow me into the green room with the one woman, with the wife. And she walks in, and I go, for the cops, and I go, let me just say something. I said, everything got out of hand. I said, "Look, I don't want any trouble." I said, "If you got offended," I said, "I apologize. But you were kind of interrupting the show, and, I tried to save it. I tried to be funny, and it just went down a different road I shouldn't have to." I said, "So hope you can just forget about it and get on with the night." And the guy said, "Are you done?" Meaning, am I done apologizing? I go, "Yeah, I'm done." He goes, "All right." He goes, "You don't understand who I am. I'm a fucking well-known cop around here. And I could go outside and have a circle of cops stand around you, and I could beat the shit out of you, and nobody would do a damn thing about it." And I went, "Okay, good. Well, what's your badge number then?" And he goes, "Don't you fucking worry about what my badge number is." And he walked out. I mean, that's a guy, right? That's a guy that shouldn't be a police officer. That's a guy who's abusing his power. These are the type of guys that the people are protesting for to get rid of. These are the type of guys that probably were douches in high school. And then when they got, all of a sudden, they never got any respect. Because maybe he fucking had a dumb haircut for his whole life. And people, "Yeah, nice haircut, John. Nice haircut, nice shoes, John." And he said, "Fuck, I'm going to get respect from these guys no matter what. I'll get a fucking badge." And he just spent his adult life going around just demanding respect off people. And I think that's what happened with this asshole. And I think there's a lot of guys out there do that. I understand the job of a police officer is really fucking difficult. It really is. When I get pulled over, and it happens a lot driving home from shows, I may have been going fucking 5 miles over the limit, depends on where it is. I may have had a taillight out once in a while. It happens. I'm on the road so much that the probability of me getting pulled over is very high. So I'll pull over to the side. I'll put my hands out the window. So when the cop walks up, he sees my hands are out the window. As soon as you walk up, my windows are obviously down. I don't have tinted windows. Can you imagine how stressful it is for a cop? As I'm trying to my daughter, you walk up and there's a fucking tinted window. You don't know what's in there. You don't know what's in there. The stress that every cop walks up with his hand on the gun. You don't know the stress levels these cops face every single day. You don't know that. So I tried to be as cooperative as possible. My hands are out the window. He walks up. I still see his hand on the gun. His partner's at the other window. My hands are out the window. And he goes, and I said to him, "How you doing, officer? How are you?" He's like, "Good." And I go, "Can I help you?" I said, What are you pulling me over for?" And then he'll tell me what I did. Have you been drinking? And I go, "No, sir. I'm just coming home from blah, 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 blah." And I give him a full description of where I am, where I'm from, and where I'm going. I'm not vague with my answers. And then if it's going any further, he'll go, "Okay, I need your license." And because sometimes they'll go like, "All right, you're coming back from a comedy club. I get it, right? Whatever." That he's believed my story. And then he'll go, if he doesn't, if he wants to push the issue, which is fine, which is he's right, he pulled me over. He's doing his job. He said, "License and registration, please." And I'll go, "It's in here. I'm just going to slowly reach for it." I just want to put the cops at ease. I don't want to fucking give, because again, these guys are stressed out, man, and it's a stressful fucking job. And I don't want to give them any reason to pull a gun, or even worse, to pull a trigger. It's not an easy job out there. Do we need justice? I don't know what we need, man. I don't know what we need. I really don't. Like, this guy was arrested, good. I hope the other three were arrested too, good. You know what's right and wrong, and that's the problem. There are cops out there who abuse the power, but there's a lot of them that are so good. A lot of them do so good. Do so much for their community, so much for their town. Like, they're just genuinely good people. I know them, I've seen them. Doesn't matter what color they are, by the way. It's not like I'm just a white guy living on Long Island, New York, who only knows white cops. I know cops from all over, in every state. I think the problem is a PBA card, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, if you're listening in another state or another country, by the way, that's not America, check this shit out. If you know a cop well enough, they can give you a PBA card, right? So if you break the law, depending on the crime, like if I'm driving home with a fucking taillight and the cop decides to give me a ticket, or if I was speeding, or if I wasn't wearing a seatbelt, or if I was on my cell phone, and a cop goes, "Right, that's it, here's a ticket," and I go, "Hang on a second, I know Jeff, he gave me this card that a printer will print out," and you can show him this card, and he goes, "Okay, you're fine, I'll let you go, because you know Jeff." So by knowing a cop, showing him the special card, it's almost like you're in a special gang to get rid of PBA cards. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of Long Island people, New York people, like, "You shut the fuck up about the PBA cards." Some people wave them and are like, "I have a PBA card. I know Jeff." How the fuck is that a thing? You break the law, you break the law. You shouldn't get off because you fucking have a special card from your fucking friend's cousin Joey. Bullshit. You break the law, you fucking break the law. The cop should let you off with a ticket if you're fucking like, if he's like, "You know what, man, you're having it. Like, I'm having a shit night tonight, officer. What happened? You know what? It's not that bad. Can you just do this for me?" That happens a lot. Or if you're a girl, you just fucking squeeze your tits together. I've seen that happen too. I wish I had tits. I get away with fucking everything. So I don't know what the situation. By the way, cops. You know where the name cops came from? Because there used to be, back in the 1700s in New York, there was two types of police forces. You had Mayor Tammany had his own police force. So you had the Metropolitan Police and you had the Municipal Police. And the ones that Tammany said were the real police wore copper badges. They were called, here come the coppers. Coppers got shortened to cops. So that's where that came from, by the way. Just a wee lesson there for you, listening to the Cheaper Than Therapy show. But again, it's sad. It's sad. If you want to protest, go ahead, protest. But I don't see the sense. You do. Maybe some do. Maybe some see the sense, the outrage of burning it down. There are arguments on both sides. I personally don't think burning shit down is going to help the community. I don't know. I don't know the answer to it, by the way. So I'm not sitting here picking sides. I do believe that cop who did that was a piece of shit. And I hope justice is served for him. And I hope many lessons to learn going forward. I hope by the time you read this or hear this podcast that it's all settled down and there was no further riots. As of right now, I checked on my phone before this and I already see people on Facebook Live already starting a march in New York City, kind of, and you could tell by some people in the video who are dressed certain ways that it's going to kick off. But I hope you're safe out there, guys. Listen, cheers for listening. Sorry this one was a little bit heavier. But I hope you're safe out there. And, it's not like we're not dealing with enough out there, you know what I mean? So, again, guys, I hope this cleared up my thoughts on it. Not that you give a shit what they were, but these were my opinion on it. If you want to debate me, I'm not going to debate you. I just told you my points. If you want to send me a private message, I'll write back to you if it's worth writing back to you. Normally, I will respond to all correspondence, as you know. But if you have any comments, concerns, send them to me Instagram, Mick Thomas Comedy. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing, and I hope you're well. Take care of yourselves. Please be safe. And as always, we're still in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic, so wash yourselves, you dirty fuckers. Good luck to you. Good luck to you.